Presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Well, my name is Ron Checkett. It's April 15th. You don't have to have your taxes done today. About a month from now. And we go back to Saturday, July 23rd, 1949 for the second part of this big series between the St. Louis Cardinals and Brooklyn Dodgers from Ebbets Field. Last night, the Dodgers fell to the Cardinals 8-4, and really a one-sided game. Preacher Rowe cruised right along, but the Dodgers had the chance in the seventh to come back and force the issue, and so somebody, namely me, went for a pinch hitter, and Irv Palika gave up a 3-run homer to Eddie Kasich in the eighth to put the game away. The Dodgers with a couple of garbage time runs in the ninth. So the situation is this. It's Joe Hatton looking for win number 10 on the year today for Brooklyn. Jerry Staley is going to go for St. Louis. It is a hot, and I mean hot day in Brooklyn. You better find a tree that grows in Brooklyn to give you some shade. So that's the setup. The Cardinal lead is 2, and after today, these two teams will meet 8 more times in the 1949 season. But right now, the Cardinals are looking for win number 60 next, right here on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1949 today from a hot and spicy Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, New York. It is the Brooklyn Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so Joe Hatton, lefty, 9-5 his record, a 2.93 ERA. He is 32 years old, a fastball pitcher, 83, and a flyball pitcher, and he is making start number 18 on the year. One of those rare players that throws left and bats right. This will be his 4th start against the Cardinals. He has gone 26 innings, 17 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. He has walked 11 and only struck out 2. But the Cardinals are such a good hitting team that they know how to take pitches. Against St. Louis, he's 2-1 with a 1.73 ERA. His last start, how you doing, John? No meetings for you today at noon. That's awesome. Came 5 days ago against the Cubbies. He got his 9th win of the year. 9 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned in the win. He walked 2 and didn't strike out anybody. So overall, 132 innings, 129 hits, 9 homers, 50 runs in total, 43 earned. He has walked 46 and struck out 28. He will walk 69 and 187 in the third innings and strike out 58 in real life. The lineup for St. Louis is pretty much what they threw out last night. Chuck Deering in center field will lead it off. Red Shane Deans will bat second and play second. John doesn't have any meetings. Hope you're having something good for lunch. Stan Musial in right field will hit third. Nippy Jones is cleaning up again today at first. Enos Slaughter in left will bat fifth. Eddie Kasich, he had the big 3-run shot in the 8th to put this one away, will bat 6th at third base. Marty Marion is at short, he'll bat 7th. Del Rice catching, batting 8th. And Jerry Staley, who many of you probably remember or know of more as a pitcher for the White Sox, gets a start and will bat 9th. Defensively for the Dodgers, it is the same lineup they put out except for the pitcher as last night. Gene Hermansky is a 4 and a 6 in left. Duke Snyder a 9 and an 8 in center. Carl Furillo an 8 and a 10 in right. Billy Cox is a 5 at third. Pee Wee Reese a 9 at short. Jackie Robinson an 8 at second. Gil Hodges a 9 at first. Roy Campanella, a 9 behind the plate with a 6 arm, and my goodness, spare a few thoughts for him on this nastily hot day in Brooklyn. Hatton is a 7 with a .957 fielding percentage. It is 93 degrees as we get started. The wind is blowing out the center. I would assume that is an ocean wind, or left center, at 11. Deering at 318, a homer, and 17 RBI. And this one starts with a ground ball to Hodges, 1 out. Took it to the bag himself. Here's Shane Deans, red at 301. Yeah, a happy 93-degree virtual day, Tribe fan. How are you? Shane Deans at 301, 2 homers and 39 RBI. And there's a base hit into left field. Remember, the Cardinals had 4 on the board on Preacher Row last night before they had it out. Here's Musial. Stan at 319, 20 homers and 79 RBI. Packed house, of course, here in Brooklyn. Season series between these two teams, 8-5 in favor of Brooklyn. In the center, Snyder, 2 out. Shane Deans goes back to first. Here's Nippy Jones. Nippy at 373, 7 homers and 53 RBI. Plenty of Schaefer and ice cream, Seal Test ice cream, to go around for the patrons at Ebbets Field today. There's a little looper that's going to get past Robinson for a single. Shane Deans will trot to third, Jones on first, and that'll bring up Enos Slaughter, who now has a 15-game hitting streak. At 345, 8 homers, and 51 RBI. Ricky Keeler actually told me why his nickname was Nippy. I'm not quite sure. It would kind of make sense. These two teams, Jamie, play 8 more times the rest of the year. Nippy is not cold today, not in a 93-degree day, no. He better not be. We'll take some Geritol if he is. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Slaughter, ground ball to Robinson on the grass, has to hurry over to Hodges, and that will retire the side. But the Cardinals get 2 hits and do not score. They leave 2 on, half an inning in the books, 0-0. So Jerry Staley, 28 years old, 85-mile-an-hour fastball pitcher and a ground ball pitcher, making start number 10. This will be his second start against the Dodgers, his 3rd appearance. 9 1/3 innings, 12 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. He is 0-1 against Brooklyn with an ERA of 4.82. Overall, he is 7-5 with 3 saves and an ERA of 3.74. His last start was the 7th against the Pirates, a win. His last outing was against the Braves on the 20th in Boston. He went an inning and struck out 2. 91 1/3 innings, 96 hits, 8 home runs allowed, 45 runs, 38 earned. He walked 20 and struck out 30. He'd have to be efficient to go the route today, but as long as the Cardinals can win, they'll be happy, and the lead would go to 3. Pee Wee Reese leads it off at short for Brooklyn. Gene Hermansky is in left. He'll bat second. Duke Snyder at third, or hitting third in center field. Jackie Robinson cleans up at second. Gil Hodges at first will bat fifth. Carl Furillo in right will hit sixth. Billy Cox at third will bat seventh. Roy Campanella catching will bat eighth. And Hatton, who threw 17 pitches in his half of the first, will bat ninth. Enos Slaughter, as we set the defense for the Cardinals, is a 5 and a 4 in left. Mr. Deering is a 6 and a 6 in center. Sam Musial is a 9 and a 7 in right. Eddie Kasich is a 7 at third. Marty Marion a 9 at short. Red Shane Deans a 9 at second. Nippy Jones a 6 at first. No clue of how he's actually feeling today. Del Rice gets the call again behind the plate, 5 and a 4, and Jerry Staley a 7 with a .983 fielding percentage. Pee Wee at 308, 9 homers and 61 RBI. And this one starts with a ground ball to third. Kasich just on the cut of the grass over to first, 1 out. Brings up Hermansky at 320, 5 homers and 17 RBI. Doesn't he kind of look like a skinny Don Zimmer? In the center field, Deering will go back and make the catch, 2 out. Here's Duke Snider. 282, 17 home runs and 57 RBI. Dodgers, game 91. For the Cardinals, game 93. Snider, line drive to short. Marion's right there. And Marty makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, no score. So Kasich, this has got to be one of his last appearances of the year. 307. He's already exceeded his real life at bat. 6 homers and 60 RBI. He must have got hurt, because there'd be no way that the Cardinals, even if you look at his real life 304, 6 and 42, would have benched him. Pitch to Eddie. There's a ground ball to Cox, over to Hodges, 1 out. So here is Marty Marion at 276, 8 homers and 40 RBI. Marion into left center. Snider, 2 out. In fact, he has to dive and make the catch. That went back further than I thought. The wind is blowing out to left center at 11. So the wind carried it. Here's Rice. Dell at 293, 2 homers and 21 RBI. One of the things that's kind of deceiving about this picture, I think, is that there's no light standards to be seen. Brooklyn had lights early, unless they were all on the infield side of the field. They had lights. They were the second National League team to have lights behind the Reds, if I'm not mistaken. 2 out, top the second, no score. Line drive to first. Hodges is there, and that will retire the side. Cardinals go in order, go to the bottom of the second, no score. So Jackie Robinson, Gil Hodges, and Carl Furillo, who already has 100 RBI. Robinson, a 10-game hitting streak, hitting .408. And the Reds were the first, and that was in 35. Robinson has 12 homers and 73 RBI. It's now 94 degrees. The men are eating the ice cream. The kids are trying to sip the Schaefer. Pitch to Robinson. Ball 4. That brings up Hodges. Gil at 341. 13 homers and 75 RBI. Action PC football, the last time I knew, was delayed 2 weeks. Zalapsky. I believe the date has now slid to April 28th. It was supposed to be out today, and we would have been back tonight to show it to you. But I believe that has... Dave made the decision earlier this week. It was in an email, I believe Monday or Tuesday, that the date has been put back to the 28th. And if you missed it, the pre-sale price is back up. So If you're new to the game, it's $44.95. And if you have the game before and are upgrading, you put upgrade in the code, it's $39.95. Yeah, it's not tomorrow or tonight. Throw to first, Robinson back. A day or two sometimes, as Jamie says, absolutely. But they made it real clear that it was a couple weeks. But they are in the process of trying to implement, kind of like what you see here, a full screen chalkboard for the football game. And so I think with the graphical changes that we expect, it just might have some kinks that don't quite work yet. Hit and run is on. There goes Robinson. Fly ball to left. Slaughter in the corner. And that is an out. So Jackie goes back to first. Brooklyn trying to manufacture something here. Here's Ferrillo. 330, 20 homers, and 102 RBI. But at least they didn't wait until today to say, no, we're a couple weeks out. It's in it. I think it's the last one, if you go through your email, news from Dave Cook Sports. Pitch to Ferrillo is a ground ball to Staley. Shane Dienst for one. Over to Jones. That's two. So Staley doing his best Eddie Jockman impression. Makes a kick save and Butin starts double play. After two, no score. So here's Staley at 160. 4 for 25 on the replay. And all four of those hits were singles. Up the middle, that's a base hit. So Staley has his fifth hit, third hit for the Cardinals. Hatton threw his first 9, 25 pitches, 2 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Yeah, it was buried in there. Also buried, but works then on time, but broken. Yeah, and there's plenty of games that we've bought over the years that were broken upon release. I hope they get the interception bug worked out. Which is, you could tell when a quarterback starts to drop back to pass, if he comes out slow, that's a turnover. Chuck Deering is 0 for 1. Staley on first. Ground ball base hit left side. And the Cardinals got something cooking here. Then again, on a 94-degree day, everyone's cooking. Here's Shane Dienst. He's got himself a single. You can understand why they call these the dog days of summer. Remember, in 1949, and you were only issued one of these a year, all these uniforms are wool. So can you imagine, like Hermansky and Snyder right now, in wool uniforms, and this weather, in New York City? Shane Dean singled his first time up. He's going to drop one down. Campanella throws to Robinson covering. The bunt works. 1 out. The sacrifice is 2-4. And Staley is on third. Deering on second for Stan Musial. Lefty versus lefty. Musial is 0 for 1. Not anymore. It's in the right center field. That will score Staley. Musial holds with a single, and the Cardinals get first blood again. The lead 1-0. And that brings up Nippy Jones. He singled his first time up. Yep, Rice and Campanella are going to lose a few pounds for sure. So the Dodgers behind the 8 ball again. Pitch to Jones. There goes Musial. The throw down is going to be in time. So Musial gets caught stealing, and the Dodgers catch a huge break. So Deering on third. Jones singled his first time up. See if this costs the Cardinals a run. Sac fly now. Well, there won't be a sac fly. An out is an out. Hatton deals. There's a fly ball to left. That would have scored Deering, so it cost them a run. They get one, and then get Musial thrown out trying to steal. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, a runner left. Bottom 3, 1-0, St. Louis. So Cox, Campanella, and Hatton to face Staley here in the third. Cox, 198. 4 homers and 24 RBI. Imagine being that guy on a hot day like this that goes to the concession stands and, what would you like, sir or ma'am? And they respond, a hot cup of coffee. Pitch to Cox. Ball 4. Second walk given up by Staley. Here's Campanella. Campy at 324. 15 homers, 51 RBI. He put one down the line and left yesterday. That was still gaining altitude by the time it found a fan in the second deck. A curveball that was so hung, it was just roped. There's a long drive to center, and that's gone. So Campanella has given the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. He may be a bit lighter, but that ball was unleashed. So his 16th of the year makes it 2-1 Brooklyn. That just missed, hitting off the facing of the second deck. So somebody got a souvenir, and it's 2-1. That's the first hit of the ball game for the Dodgers. And with nobody on, that brings up Hatton, who's going to have to hit 160 with 4 RBI. Here's a ground ball to third. Kasich for the out. Jones stays on the bag, 1 out. So Staley's opening 9 on 28 pitches. 2 1/3 innings. The 1 hit, the 2-run bomb by Campanella. And Staley has walked 2. Pee Wee Reese is 0 for 1. Tribe fan is doing better than the Cleveland baseball team last night. I'm telling you, you got to go back and watch the game we did Tuesday at lunch. Pitch to Reese is a base hit right center field. Pee Wee digging for 2. He's in there. So again, I asked this before and then took it off the screen real quick. Doesn't Hermansky look like a skinny Don Zimmer? Midlife crisis listening from work. All is well here. Rainy day here in Burlington. My mom might get 6 inches of snow tonight. And again, the calendar says April 15th. There's a ground ball to third. Kasich has Reese in a rundown. Shane Dienst will make the tag. Hermansky goes to first. And there's 2 out for Snyder, who's 0 for 1. Speaking of surprises this year, the Red Sox, of course, lost their first 3 games of the season to Baltimore at Fenway Park. And now have won 9 straight. They swept Tampa. They swept Baltimore. And, I hadn't even thought of that. And they just swept the Twins. Today actually is Jackie Robinson Day. It was this day in 1947 when Robinson makes his Major League debut. I hadn't even thought of that. Of course, it's July 23rd in the replay. Pitch to throw to first, Hermansky back. So today is a day that everybody wears 42, right? Snyder, base hit right field. Pass Musial. He's got extra bases. Hermansky rounds third and scores. Snyder's going for third. He's in there. And that's the fourth triple for Duke this year. It's 3-1. So, yeah, everybody wearing 42 today. Speaking of 42, Jackie walked his first time up. Snyder on third. The Dodgers looking more like the Dodgers that we have seen this year. And here's a liner to center field, and D-Ring will spoil the party and make the catch. But Brooklyn, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They leave a runner on. Roy Campanella got the party started. A 2-run bomb did the second deck in center field. We go to the fourth, 3-1 Brooklyn. And this is why Jamie said we shall see a lot more of the Cardinals and the Dodgers. They're within 2 games of each other. Philadelphia with a 9.5. The Giants 10. Look at this, though. The Braves in 5th place are above 500, but they're 11.5 out of first. In the American League, the Yankees have won 2 straight. 5.5 over the Tribe. Washington 11 back. The Tigers 11.5. Boston 15. It's not the most competitive season I think we've had. But if you take a look at the Yankees, they're 10-11 in 1-run games and 2-3 in extra inning games. Put the mouse in the right spot. Slaughter, Kasich, and Marion here to face Hatton in the 4th. Slaughter 0 for 1. To short, Reese, 1 out. Here's Kasich, and he's 0 for 1. Hatton deals. Ball 4. So Marty Marion, the tying run now, is 0 for 1. First walk allowed by Hatton. Into center field, Snyder should get that. He does. Kasich goes back. 2 out. I'll have to ask when we have Dave on about the Boston bug for sure. The AL will be a better race except for the... Yeah, I don't know what that is. Keep buying them anyway. I think Cleveland should make up for some of that. 5.5, especially in July, is not terrible. And the Yankees and Indians, I think, have 7 or 8 more games to go this year anyway. Now, 95 degrees here in Brooklyn. Del Rice is 0 for 1. He hits that one in the right center. Furillo is there for the out, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Cardinals strand a man after 3.5. 3-1 Trolley Dodgers. Here's Gil Hodges. He's 0 for 1. Furillo and Cox to follow. Staley starts the inning with a ground ball up the middle. Shanding spotted the bag. Over to first. 1 out. Furillo grounded into a double play his last time up. I don't think he's got a chance at 190 RBI. Isn't that what Stan Hack's record is? But he could break 150. Especially with how lethal this offense is. To short, Marion in the hole, over to first, 2 out. Brings up Cox, who walked and scored his first time up. In the left, back goes Slaughter, gone. No, they ruled that a double. They rule that a double. That just hit the top of the wall. Mr. Olmo may pinch hit later. concerned sub. Fourth hit now for the Dodgers. 2 out for Campanella. He blasted one. It's about where Ralph Kiner put it in the All-Star game. Into dead center in the second deck. Is it me, or was there no batter's eye here at Ebbets? I know the drawing shows fans in center field. Pitch to Campanella. There's a sharp grounder to Marion over to first for the out. Okay, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 4, 3-1 Brooklyn. So Staley, Deering, and Schoendienst. Staley scored the lone run in the third. Reached on a single. And Musial brought him home. Got him. He swung on and missed an 0-2 fastball at 84, 1 out. So Hatton threw 18 batters, 51 pitches, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. It's earned, a walk, and a strikeout. Chuck Deering is 1 for 2. Up the middle, Hatton stops it. Over to first, 2 out. Brings up Schoendienst. A single and a sac bunt. 1 for 1. Into right field. That's a base hit. Schoendienst is going to take 2 all the way, and that's his 13th double of the year. So Hatton left too much plate on that one, and Schoendienst just pounded it. So here's Musial. Stan wipes his brow. 96 now at Ebbets. 1 for 2. An RBI single. And that came in the third. This time a line drive to third. Cox leaps and makes the catch to retire the side. We're halfway home on a Thursday afternoon. No runs, a hit. The Cardinals lead their 5th runner on. It's 3-1 Brooklyn. And if you joined us late, here's how we got here. Stan Musial with an RBI single in the third to score Jerry Staley to make it 1-0 St. Louis. Then Brooklyn countered with 3 in the bottom of the inning, starting on a Roy Campanella bomb to dead center to make it 2-1. Then Duke Snyder with an RBI triple to make it 3-1. A run on 6 hits for St. Louis. Brooklyn 3 runs and 4 hits, and neither team has committed an error. How you doing, D. Scott Howard? Jerry Staley, a 4-hitter through 4. He has walked 2 and not struck out anybody. And Mr. Hatton, Joe, is allowed 6 hits through 5 and walked and struck out a batter. In fact, Joe starts the inning. He's 0 for 1. In such a different time than today, the major league leader in strikeouts going into yesterday was Virgil Trucks of the Tigers, who had fanned all of, get this, 88 batters. Pitch to Hatton is a ground ball to third. Kasich across the way, 1 out. So 18 batters deep for Staley. 4 1/3 innings, 48 pitches, 4 hits. The home run to Campanella, which I think is still in the atmosphere. 2 walks, 3 runs all earned, and no strikeouts. Pitch to Reese is a fly ball to left, but that will stay in the yard. Slaughter's there, 2 out. Here's Hermansky. Gene is 0 for 2 with a run scored. Again, a stifling day here in Brooklyn, 96 degrees. You can see out on McKeever Street a couple of trees. So a tree does indeed grow in Brooklyn, and there's some kids playing with a fire hydrant, trying to stay cool. There's a base hit into left center field. Hermansky will hold with a single, and that's the 5th Dodger hit. So Duke Snyder with an RBI triple, 1 for 2. Dodgers trying to crawl back into a 1-game hole against the Cardinals. Popped up. Right side. Jones on the grass, and that will take care of the Dodgers. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 5, 3-1 Brooklyn. You know, we've done a bunch of games from Ebbets Field. I can't believe that's the first time I've actually done the tree goes in Brooklyn joke. But it's organic. Here's Nippy Jones. He's 1 for 2. Slaughter and Kasich to follow, and Marion, if anybody should reach. And he should, because that's punched into dead center for a base hit. 7th hit for St. Louis. And that brings up Slaughter, who's 0 for 2. Hatton probably could go the distance if he's economical. Staley cruising along for a CG. Up the middle, Hatton with a stab. Robinson for 1. Hodges for 2. And for some ungodly reason, they chant Eddie, Eddie. Was Eddie Giacomin? Oh, yeah, he was born in 49. The Dodgers look at each other and go, who's that? Here's Kasich. That's an Eddie. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. The pitch. There's a base hit right field. Ferrillo will cut it off. And Kasich is 1 for 2. Here's Marty. Marion is 0 for 2. Ball 4. So we lost him. A 3-0 changeup. Just a bit outside. And there's 2 out for Rice. Rice is 0 for 2. The tying run is on first. 2 out, top the 6th. 3-1 Brooklyn. Campanella goes out to talk to Hatton. And now it's a line drive to third. Cox is there. How about that? So the Cardinals get nothing and like it. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Robinson, Hodges, and Ferrillo. So on this Jackie Robinson day, he's at least reached base once. Drew his 51st walk of the replay, compared to 12 strikeouts, which is what Adam Dunn would do in a 2-game series. Pitch to Robinson. Here's a base hit down the line and left. Kasich got back late. Robinson extends his hitting streak to 11 as he slams his 26th double of the year. So here's Hodges. Gil is 0 for 2. And you want to know why Carl Ferrillo has over 100 RBI in July? He's standing on second base. Pitch to Hodges is popped up. Rice gladly takes off the mask. That ball was out of play the second it was hit. But Rice wipes the brow. You could say it's so hot here, it's now 97, that Rice is boiling in his own bag. 1-2 the count to Hodges. Robinson on second. Line drive to first. Jones is there. 1 out. So here's Ferrillo. 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play. If you're wondering about Staley and strikeouts, about 1 in every 3 innings. Thanks, John. I'm glad someone got that. 55 whiffs and 171 in the third inning. To second, Shane Dienst over to first for the out. A pun-free Thursday? No one told me that. I'm always the last to know. Here's Cox, Billy with a double. He's 1 for 1. He has walked and scored. Robinson on third. 3-1 Dodgers, bottom 6. Right back to Staley, who throws it over to first, and that will retire the side. We go to the 7th. Brooklyn gets a hit, leaves a runner on after 6, 3-1. Oh, it's punt-free Thursdays, which I believe some states do in their high school games. Makes football games more interesting. And John Goodell says, I remember the old White Sox joke. It was so hot the third baseman was melting. As in Bill. Staley 1 for 2, then D-Ring and Shane Dienst. Jerry singled, struck out, and scored. The lone run for the Cardinals in the third. Right back to Hatton. That's a reflex play all the way. And there's one out. And now the crowd's chanting J.D., J.D., J.D. And Hodges turns to Robert and said, yeah, I could use a bottle of that right now. Here's Deering. He's 1 for 3. Hatton, 85 pitches, 27 batters, 6 in the third innings, 8 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 1. D-Ring to Robinson with a catch, 2 out. Jackie with a quick throw. Brings up Shane Dienst. Has singled, doubled, is 2 for 2 and a bunt. 8 hits for the Cardinals, 6 for the Dodgers. Don't forget, Dodger fans, to reach in your fridge and grab a nice ice-cold Maldito. This might be the hottest weather game I think I've ever done. It's now 98. To first, Hodges to the bag himself. Stretch time. And then it'll bring up Campanella. He hit the 2-run shot in the third. Hatton and Reese to follow. It's so warm today in Brooklyn. Say it. How warm is it? That there isn't a man over the age of 30 wearing a shirt. Outside the ballpark, of course. And there's a bunch of housewives and kids wondering what's worse, the temperature or the bunch of hairy moobs on display up and down the borough. Campanella 1 for 2. Yep, D. Scott, those old flannel uniforms. Oh, Campanella and Rice especially wearing all that iron. D-Ring and Slaughter in the sun. In the outfield, ground ball to third. Kasich over to first. For the out, Elvis is in the building. Matt has a score for us from Wrigley Field in Los Angeles from 1961, because that's the only year the Angels played at Wrigley Field. It's the Tigers 1 behind the lefty slants of Don Ears Mossy. 93 at Yankee Stadium on the 25th. Yep. I've had games in the 90s, and of course, the weather engine in Action PC just gets warmer and warmer as the game goes along. Not sure if I've ever had a 100-degree day. We might have a couple years ago because the Braves were good in 82. But that would be about it. Was this a day a cabbage leaf may have been placed under the cap? Oh, absolutely. Remember, those caps are all wool, too. There will be hell to pay for the clubhouse manager if there's actually hot water in the tanks after the game. They want that water cold. Hatton is 0 for 2. He will stay in the game, obviously. In the center field, D-Ring will run over, make the catch, 2 out. So Staley threw 27 batters, 76 pitches, 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, the home run. He walked 2. Pee Wee 1 for 3. He's got himself a double. And yes, Minnie, the beer certainly will be cold, whether it's a Schaefer or a Maldito. Wind is now blowing out to center at 18. That will give at least the patrons in the outfield some relief. Can't say much for those sitting behind the plate. Ground ball to first. Jones, a long run from the grass for the out. 2 away. Or 3 away. That's it. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 8th. It's still 3-1. So heart of the lineup here for the Cardinals. Musial, Jones, and Slaughter. Stan is 1 for 3. He has an RBI single. The lone run of the game for St. Lou. On a day like this, your arm's going to stay warm for about 17 weeks. Hatton deals. Struck him out. He got him to chase a 1-2 curve out of the zone. 1 out. And that brings up Jones. Nippy is 2 for 3. After the game, we'll go through what we're doing for you next week. I get my second COVID shot on Saturday, so it won't interfere with the replay. Base hit down the line and right. That's all the way in the corner, and Jones is in the second standing for his 17th double of the year. That's the 9th Cardinal hit. Here's Slaughter trying to get that hitting streak to 16. He's 0 for 3. He's a tying run. There's a line drive to first. Hodges is there. 2 out. So Kasich, 1 for 2. Singled and walked. 9 hits for the Cards, 6 for the Dodgers. And there's a ground ball to Cox on the grass. He's got to hurry over to first, and Kasich is retired. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Cardinals have left 8 on. To the bottom of the 8th, 3-1, Brooklyn. So Hermansky, Snyder, and Robinson. And what the Dodgers hope is the last time they have to bat today. Hermansky 1 for 3. Line drive to first, 1 out. Here's Snyder. He drove home Hermansky on the triple in the 3rd. All the runs came in the 3rd inning. 3 for Brooklyn, 2 on the homer from Campanella, and 1 for St. Louis. Got him. First strikeout for Staley. An 0-2 fastball in the outside corner. Not sure what Snyder was looking for, but he just shakes his head. And an update from Los Angeles. Again, I slipped in the open yesterday and said they were playing at Dodger Stadium. George Thomas, traded earlier by the Tigers in 61, just put the Angels out in front with a 3-run jack, his 6th of the year, and Earl Mossey, or Dick Mossey, is now trailing 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th. Well, if he doesn't like that, he can go pose for the Dumbo ride at Disneyland out in Anaheim. Robinson is 1 for 2. He doubled and walked, so his hitting streak's at 11. Yep, Tribe fan. Okay. Nippy's nickname is an extension of his father's nickname, Nip. Don't say that 5 times fast, because he'd like to take a nip of a bottle. And we're not talking about Pepsi-Cola either. Robinson under Marion's glove, and that will be a 1-base error. He just smashed that down the hole, and Marion couldn't take it. Oh, Howard. Yeah, Al Nipper didn't get his nickname that way. We won't tell you what I call Al Nipper a lot in the mid-'80s. Here's Gil Hodges. He's 0 for 3. So 2 out, Robinson on first. Hodges draws the walk. That's the third from Staley. And that'll bring up Furillo. Dodgers could actually use an insurance run here. Furillo is 0 for 3 and grounded into a double play. Got him! An 0-2 on the inside corner on a fastball. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, and an error. After 8, 3-1 Brooklyn. So Kasich, and I knew he must. I bet you did, Zalapsky. Loved Al Nipper. That's like, yes. Yep. It's like defensive secondaries loving Eli Manning. So Kasich, we wondered if he got hurt. Got injured after making the All-Star game and then lost his starting job to in 1950. To who? Who'd they get to replace him? So it'll be Marion, Rice, and a pinch hitter here in the 9th. Marion is 0 for 2 with a walk. Hatton. Right back to Hatton. Over to Hodges. Now they're chanting Richter over there. They don't know what the heck is going on. 1 out. The world-famous Tommy Galvino. When you say it that way, it sounds like one of those high-wire acts. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the world-famous Tommy Galvino will walk between the dunes and the Sahara. See what they did with Rice. He's 0 for 3. There's a ground ball to Robinson, who makes a great stop by the bag at second, over to first, and that is out number 2. So pitcher spot is up. I wonder if we get Galvino here. So the Cardinals and the Dodgers appear to be on the verge of splitting the first 2 games of the series. And Lou Klein will pinch hit. Lou at 200. 3 homers, and 11 RBI. If he should reach his D-ring. And so Staley and Hatton are going to get the CGs. How about that? Got him! He swings and misses at an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, and the Dodgers are winners on this day afternoon. 3-1 as the temperature hits 99 degrees. Took an hour 48, the computer says, to play this game. So Hatton gets the win. He goes to 10-5, a 9-hitter. 1 run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3 through 108 pitches. Yep, we wondered about if you would do that or not. So Dave was watching at one point. So you're going to do some original 6 waiting for the package today. You got 63-64, didn't you not? Jerry Staley takes a loss. 8 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. The homer to Campanella, who gets our game MVP. He walked 3 and struck out 2. He threw 102, could have gone 125. Staley could have thrown 131. I'm that button. So the lead is now 1 game. So let's do, yes, Mark Zarb is joining us tomorrow afternoon. which is good because I'm getting the shot Saturday. So if we didn't tape tomorrow, we weren't taping at all. So yes, Mark Zarb late tomorrow afternoon. So I imagine it'll go up Tuesday night, tomorrow night, being Friday. Rest of the day in baseball, the Red Sox beat the Browns 14-3 at Sportsman's Park. Chuck Stobbs goes to 8-2. Embry 4-8. Bobby Doerr 4-for-5, 2 homers. Red Sox hit 5 in total. Now it's 13 RBI and drove in 3. Yankees beat the Tigers 7-5 in Detroit. Joe Page goes to 6-2. Houdeman falls to 3-8. And the late Bobby Brown 2-for-4 with 2 RBI and a triple. Cleveland beat Washington 6-1. Bob Feller goes to 9-4. Haynes goes to 6-5. Stewart for Washington is 4th of the year. He goes 1-for-4. Philadelphia beat Cincinnati at Shibe Park 6-3. Ken Heinzelman 10-7 now on the year. Johnny Vandermeer 4-8. Jones 2-for-3 with a homer. His 11th, and he drives in 2. Sheldon Jones shuts out the Cubs 10-0 at the Polo Grounds. He goes to 9-7. Hacker goes to 2-3. Eleanor Rigney 2-for-3, 3 RBI and 2 double. Hank Thompson also has 4 hits for the Giants. And last but not least, Pittsburgh beats Boston in Boston 9-3. Tiny Bonham goes to 5-5. Warren Spahn 12-9. Johnny Hopp in a losing effort. Couldn't have been a losing effort because he drove in 4. In a winning effort, 4-for-5, 4 RBI, and 3 triples. So the standings pretty much don't change. It's a 1-game lead St. Louis over Brooklyn, and the Yankees have a 5.5 game lead over Cleveland. The Red Sox are trying to get back to 500, but as long as the Yankees keep winning, it really doesn't matter what the Red Sox do. All right, coming up on the channel this week, Tuesday, and again, I don't suspect that we're going to be not feeling well. It'll be St. Louis and Philadelphia from Sportsman's Park. The primetime game is going to be St. Louis and Brooklyn. Who was it that said we're going to see a lot of St. Louis? And oh yeah, there's we have no American League games set for this week. How about that? And we're going to either do Boston-Pittsburgh, because Ralph Kiner is still tearing up the baseball, or Brooklyn-St. Louis. So that's the venue of events next week. Join us for that, shall we? Noon Eastern Tuesday, 8 Eastern on Wednesday, and noon Eastern on Thursday. I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, everybody. I'm going to take a lot of naps. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.